Hello and welcome to the 49ers First and 10 podcast, 10 minutes of the most up-to-date 49ers news first thing in the morning. Covering 49ers training camp, I'm your host, Brianna McDonald. Joining me is team reporter Lindsay Pilares. We're starting off today's podcast with some exciting news. Yesterday morning, the 49ers announced that former running back Frank Gore will be the newest inductee to the Edward DeBartolo Sr. 49ers Hall of Fame. Lindsay, just how iconic of a moment is this for the 49ers organization?
It's a huge one. Frank Gore, obviously one of the notable players historically of this franchise, a five-time Pro Bowl selection, also a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's all-decade team of the 2010s. When you think of that era, it's hard not to think of Frank Gore. He closed out his career with 16,000 career rushing yards. That's third most in NFL history. Certainly a huge moment for him in his career, and also just a huge moment for the organization. So that's all happening on week one. So really not that long from now. There's going to be a special celebration for him happening week one versus the New York Jets. So just added excitement for week one, really, to be playing in prime time. Then you've got Frank Gore's induction into the 49ers Hall of Fame. It's definitely a game to circle on your calendar if you hadn't already, Faithful.
Yep, with Gore being honored during the team's week one Monday Night Football matchup, he will become the 31st member of the team's Hall of Fame. Now, speaking of Hall of Famers, get ready for this weekend, Faithful, because former 49ers linebacker Patrick Willis is going to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Lindsay, just how big is this weekend for Niners fans? They got news about Frank Gore. Patrick Willis is getting his gold jacket. Training camp will be open this weekend. Just how excited should they be with football season just days away?
It feels like football is already here because Thursday night was the Hall of Fame game. So it's
Yep.
already started, right? Obviously, a huge congratulations to Patrick Willis, who, again, just an iconic player of that 2010s decade. We were able to be at the NFL honors when he was announced that he was selected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So this is just a moment that's a long time coming. He's going to get the gold jacket this weekend. And we have members of our team in Canton, Ohio. So please be on the lookout. There is some really cool content coming just to honor Patrick Willis. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, definitely. And the good news just keeps getting better. While our alumni are being honored, the team's current roster is also picking up some notable recognition with the NFL Top 100 list airing on NFL Network. Two more Niners have made the list since our last episode. Lindsay, would you like to share some information on the first?
I'm sure no one will be surprised by this, but the People's tight end, George Kittle, again, is a returning member of the 49ers to the top 100 players of 2024. He owns number 14. I think he is a huge part of this team. Last year, caught 65 passes for 1,020 yards and 6 touchdowns on the year. And you can't talk about George Kittle without also talking about the huge contributions that he makes to the 49ers. Ground game is very, very accomplished blocker. One of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL right now. He takes a lot of pride in it. He talks a lot about it. And it's certainly an integral part of the 49ers offense. Well-deserved, and we're hoping for similar numbers in 2024.
Yep, huge congrats to George and to three-time All-Pro Fred Warner. Fred moved up from the 15th best player last year to the 11th best player in the NFL this year. Over the course of the 2023 season, Fred has recorded 2.5 sacks, 132 tackles, 11 pass deflections, 4 interceptions returned for 66 yards, which is tied for the first among linebackers, and 4 forced fumbles, which was also tied for first among linebackers. I mean, the numbers just keep going on, and all of his 2023 records, except tackles, were career highs for Warner. So faithful. Hopefully, there's more to come with the Niners on this list. The NFL's top 10 players of 2024 will be announced on Friday, August 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time, live on NFL Network. We will have to see who makes the top 10. All right, now let's turn our attention back to training camp. Lindsay, in your last series of training camp notes, you highlighted some of the younger guys on the team. I'm curious to hear which second year players or rookies have impressed the most during training camp so far.
I feel like there was a lot of people that deserve shout outs for that Wednesday practice. We'll start with the offensive line. Again, it's hard to run back and forth between one drills just because they're on opposite sides of the field. So I didn't get to watch all of it, but I did see rookie offensive lineman Dominic Pooney, who's been taking reps at guard. He held up well against veteran T.Y. McGill in one drills. And then we'll go over to wide receivers. And this was during team drills. Ronnie Bell, second year player, seventh round draft pick from 2023. He had a couple really impressive catches. He was going up against Charvarius Ward early in 11 on 11 drills, was able to make a really cool catch. And then during red zone drills, had Ambry Thomas draped all over him, made a contested catch. So again, just you're seeing that year one to year two progression. And then we saw rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, who was taken off the NFI list to start the week. He actually had a red zone touchdown, so that was pretty cool. Wide open in the back of the end zone. And that was a pass from Brock Purdy. So you want to see that chemistry continue to build. And then we also had linebackers, D Winners, and Jalen Graham, also draft picks from that 2023 draft. You're just seeing them be a lot more confident and just very physical tacklers, which we know is one of the hallmarks, a couple of the hallmarks of the 49ers defense. And defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen also spoke about them. And he says that jump from year one to year two has so much to do with just being more comfortable in the way things run, right? This is their second training camp. They're just starting to cut it loose, and you're starting to see that out on the field. So I just wanted to give a little shine to our first and second year players because they are out there grinding and the progress is showing.
It's always great to hear that our guys are finding their rhythm now. Let's check in on the quarterbacks room. It was a big point of focus heading into this year's camp that Brock Purdy has had a fully healthy offseason and is looking to just elevate before the 2024 season. How has Brock been progressing in training camp so far?
Yeah, I think right now it's just continuing to go upward and onward, right? This is, like you mentioned, his first healthy off season. I think especially coming in with a full year of starting experience, you're just seeing him to continue to build confidence and decisiveness every day, right? And as the pads come on, it starts to feel a little bit more like the type of football that you're going to be playing in fall. He's got a great arm. I think Wednesday's practice was really good for him. He had 3 red zone touchdowns and again, just looked really comfortable in this offense. And I think we're just going to continue to see more of that.
We also got to hear from quarterbacks Josh Dobbs and Brandon Allen this week. They're both at that backup spot, so how are they adjusting to the 49ers system?
I think for Josh Dobbs, you're seeing him get visibly more comfortable day by day. This is obviously is a new system for him. And if you think about the calendar year that Josh Dobbs has had, this is now his 4th NFL team that he's made home. So I think last year in 2023, he spent time with the Browns, the Cardinals, and then close out the year at the Minnesota Vikings. He said yesterday in his press conference it was a pretty wild year because the second he started to get comfortable, it was time to move on and then start the reacclimation process with a new team in a new city. But that does give you reps, I would say, in getting acclimated fast wherever you are. And he's doing his best, obviously, to take in all of the playbook and the intricacies of Kyle Shanahan's offense. And you're seeing that naturally progress as the days go by. Brandon Allen getting more reps than he did last year. Right now, Josh Dobbs and Brandon Allen are splitting reps behind Brock Purdy. He's saying that those extra reps in year 2 with the San Francisco 49ers are super beneficial because rather than just taking those mental reps, you're actually going out there building that chemistry with the receivers. You have to stay ready no matter what, because you never know when your number is going to get called throughout the season.
Now, as we enter the final week of training camp, if you could believe it, the 49ers' first preseason game against the Tennessee Titans is next Saturday. Lindsay, are there any key areas of focus or specific goals the team is emphasizing this week?
I think really the biggest takeaway of the week was what defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen really said. It's like you just want to continue to work hard and get better each day, right? Training camp, this is what it's about. It's about building those reps both on the field, mentally getting into the flow in time for those preseason games. Obviously, we've still got a little bit of time before the regular season. So it's just stacking the days and making sure that you continue to progress every day. I think the 49ers are absolutely doing that. So I think that really just is the focus. No one's paying attention to training camp stats or anything. It's all about just going out there, giving it your all every day and getting a little better every day. And that's something that we see this team doing day in and day out.
All right, faithful, that will do it for today. Subscribe for more training camp updates and turn on the notifications for any breaking news. Move the Chains episodes. Thanks for tuning in.